Hey everybody, this is Andre here with the Kevin Breeze channel, and this is a beginner's guide for the Motorola Moto G Power 2021. This is going to go over several basic tips and tricks that you might not know about if you're using your Motorola Moto G Power 2021 for the first time. Let's get started. So the first thing I want to show you guys is where all the buttons are and what they do. So on the left side of the phone, we have our volume up button, our volume down button, our power button that doubles as a fingerprint scanner, and then on the left side, this is our little slot for the SIM card and the micro SD card. You're gonna put your SIM card removal tool right in this little hole, and it'll open the tray where you're gonna be able to put the cards. On the top here, we have our 3.5mm headphone jack and a noise canceling microphone. At the bottom, we have our regular microphone, a USB-C charging port, and the speaker. And then of course, on the back, we have our camera setup as well as our flash. And that is pretty much it. This phone is really simple as far as buttons go. Some of the older phones and even the more lower end ones have something like an assistant button or something like that. This phone doesn't have any of that. This phone really just has the bare minimum, which I think is really nice because having a more minimalistic design makes the phone a lot easier to use. It makes it look cleaner, and it also reduces the risk of something being damaged. Because when you have less buttons, that means less things that can be messed up, which is really overall a more reliable setup in my opinion. Now I'm going to show you how to unlock the phone. So there are really 3 different ways you can do this. The first way is probably the most simple, which is just simply swiping up. So you're going to want to go like this, swipe up like that. And then it's going to ask for your PIN if you do have a PIN in there, and then you're going to type that in. So the other way you can unlock this phone is with the fingerprint scanner. Now this phone has a really nice design as far as the fingerprint scanner goes, and the fingerprint scanner is actually right here on the power button. All you need to do to unlock the phone if you have your fingerprint set up is just go like this. It's such a fast and easy way to do it. Most of the time, Face Unlock is actually faster than a fingerprint scanner, but this time, I actually don't think it is. And speaking of Face Unlock, this phone does have Face Unlock, so if you go into your settings and scroll down to security, you're gonna be able to not only set up your fingerprint, but also your Face Unlock here. And of course, it's going to ask for your PIN, so you're going to have to set up a PIN first. But once you do get all of that stuff set up, you'll be able to do not only the fingerprint, but also Face Unlock. And Face Unlock is a nice alternative if you're in a situation where the fingerprint scanner isn't quite convenient for you. Now, you might sometimes be in a situation where you have to either turn off or restart your phone. I'm going to show you how to do that. So all you need to do is press and hold the power button. And then this little menu is going to come up where you can either power off, restart, or take a screenshot, and the emergency button is up here as well. In this day and age, you usually don't have to ever turn off your phone. It's pretty rare unless there's something going on, but it's definitely nice to have such an easy way to do it if you ever need to. As I'm sure you saw, you can actually take a screenshot by holding down the power button, but I'm going to show you an even easier way to do it. So you're going to go up to your settings, go to the search bar and type gestures. Once you're in the gestures menu, go ahead and select 3-finger screenshot. Make sure that this feature is on. When this feature is on, instead of pressing and holding the power button and selecting it in the menu, all you need to do is hold 3 fingers separated from each other a little bit on the screen for about a second and it'll be taken. This is a much easier way than pressing and holding the power button because that takes a second to do that, and then you have to select it on the menu and then it'll finally take the screenshot. Whereas with the 3-finger screenshot, all you need to do is literally put any 3 fingers on the screen and it'll take a screenshot. It's so much easier and really convenient. And this is definitely one of those more unusual features that the Motorola Moto G Power has that a lot of other phones like the Samsung Galaxy phones don't have. So if you're coming from an older Android phone, or whatever the case may be, you may have noticed that at the bottom, there's no menu or anything. It's just this little part right here. Well, that's because this phone has what's called gesture navigation. Gesture navigation is really cool because it simplifies things and gets rid of the need for buttons. I'm going to show you a few different functions of gesture navigation, and then if you don't like gesture navigation, I'm going to show you how to get the old 3-button navigation back. So one thing that gesture navigation has that's a lot different from the normal navigation is how to get to your recent apps section. Now, instead of pressing a button like you would on normal navigation, all you're going to have to do is swipe up and hold. Then your recent apps are going to show up, and to close them, all you need to do is swipe them up. Another thing that's different about gesture navigation is the back button. Now let's say we go to a web page and you want to go back. Normally you would press the back button on the home page, but with gesture navigation, all you need to do is just swipe back and it'll go back to the previous screen. Another thing that's different about gesture navigation is the absence of a home button. So instead of actually pressing a home button, all you need to do is just swipe up and it'll go to the home screen. I personally think gesture navigation is great. I like to have things as simple looking as possible, and I like to get rid of any extra buttons that aren't needed, but you might not be that way. There is definitely nothing wrong with having a 3-button navigation system if you choose to have it like that, and I'm going to show you how to get that back. So you're going to open the settings menu, hit the search bar, type system navigation. And right now, you can see we are in gesture navigation. In order to get the old Android navigation back, hit 3-button navigation right here. Now that 3-button navigation is active, you have the standard 3 buttons at the bottom again. It's really nice to be able to choose because some people might like the 3 buttons better, but some people might like the gesture navigation better. Being able to choose makes it a lot more flexible. And that's another one of the great things about Android is that you can actually customize a lot of the operating system to fit the way you feel comfortable doing things. So this is among the more basic functions, and you've probably noticed me doing it throughout this video as I'm going to other screens, but I'm going to show you how to get the notification panel. Now, when you get a text message or a notification from the app, whatever the case may be, it's going to all show up in your notification panel. To get to that screen, all you need to do is swipe down here, and any notification you have will be in this section. Another really important feature that people use all the time that shows up here in the notification section is the flashlight. So if you ever need to turn on the flashlight, the most simple, obvious way to turn it on is to just pull down the notification tab and hit the flashlight here, and it'll turn on, of course. But I'm going to show you an even faster, easier way to do it. So once again, we're going to be going to settings, go to your search bar, look up gestures. And once you're in the gesture menu, select fast flashlight and make sure that this is powered on. Now this motion is really easy once you get the hang of it. To be perfectly honest, sometimes I even mess it up and I do this a lot. But once it is active, it's a really useful feature to turn your flashlight on faster. Let me show you how it's done. So with fast flashlight activated, all you need to do to turn your flashlight on is flick your wrist and it'll turn right on. And then to turn it off, you do the same thing. It's really nice because even though pressing the button at the notification center is easy enough, it's even better if you don't even need to press anything. And you can do it whether your phone is locked or unlocked, which is a really nice feature that even flagship phones and phones like iPhones don't have. So now I'm going to show you a little bit about the battery settings. Right now at the top of the screen on my status bar, you can see the battery percentage, but by default, it doesn't come like this. Let me show you how you can toggle this on and off. So go to settings again, and this time we're going to go into the battery menu. And there are a couple different things in the battery menu that you're going to want to know about. So the first most obvious one is the battery percentage. Right here you can toggle this on and off. If you turn it off, it's not going to show up on your status bar. Unless you pull down the notification center, then it will show up. And then of course you can turn it on as well. The other thing in the battery section to know about is usage details. If your battery is draining really fast and you don't know why, then you might want to check out the usage details. What this is going to do, it's going to tell you basically which apps use the battery the most, so it'll give you a better idea of how your battery is actually being drained. Definitely a useful feature. If you find that your battery is running out faster, you'll be able to see which apps you need to use less of, Or if there's a problem, it'll probably look a little weird and then it'll give you a better idea of what's going on. Another thing to know about is adaptive battery. With this activated, it'll limit the power used for background apps and apps you don't really use a whole lot. And it's nice because a lot of apps do run in the background. And with adaptive battery, this will prevent them from draining your battery or having any real big effects. If you're ever in a situation where you're running low on battery and you can't get to a charger in time, definitely turn on battery saver. This feature is really nice. It basically puts your phone into a super low power mode where it doesn't consume hardly any energy, and it extends the battery life just long enough for you to go to a charger and get the phone charged. I definitely wouldn't recommend having it on at all times. It's really just more of an emergency thing, but it's really nice to have it because if you're ever in those urgent situations, it's nice to know that you have something to help you out a little. Now, I don't know about you guys, but one of the first things I pay a lot of attention to when I get a new phone is the home screen. Now, a really nice thing about Android home screens is that they're very customizable, and I'm going to show you actually how to get to that menu easier. So sure, you can scroll through the whole regular menu, but another thing you can do is press and hold one finger on the screen, and this will come up. You're going to be able to play around with all the widgets and wallpapers, even change the style of the home screen. And then, of course, under home settings, there's even more stuff to mess around with. This way, when you get your new phone, you'll be able to personalize it right away, and it makes it a lot easier to get familiar with the interface too. But that's it for this beginner guide for the Motorola Moto G Power 2021. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, definitely leave a thumbs up and subscribe. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video.